Hey everybody, Sister Fantastic here, and welcome to Mask Monday. Today I'm going to be using the Multitask Eye Serum Mask from Erno Laszlo, and I received these in friend mail from Lois. And I'm going to be answering 50 random questions about myself that I was tagged in by Alice Lynn. I Love Being a Grammy. She wanted me to do these, and so there wasn't a link in her video for the exact questions that she used. So I just did a search and I came up with something. These are like hydrogels, they're clear. And I'm just not in the mood for a full-fledged mask today. So I'm going to do these eye masks. And I'm going to get these on real quick. They're pretty clear and shiny, and the way that they're sitting in the tray, there's like a little divider between the two of them, but there's plenty of serum and they're really nice. This is a really nice set of eye masks, and I've used these before and they work really well. Sweet Pete, hang on y'all. Okay, that was my husband coming home. Alright, so I've got the little eye masks in place. So I pulled up, I just did a little Google search and I pulled up this one that has got like 101. And so I'm not going to answer all of them, but I'm going to like skip over them and I'm going to answer a bunch. I'm not sure it's going to be exactly 50, but I've got them pulled up here on the computer, and that's going to keep me from having to write them all down. Alright, these is split up into sections, and this is the like facts. Like things that I like. My favorite cuisine is Mexican. I love Mexican food. I love to eat it. I could eat it every day. The hobby that I could never give up is YouTube. I mean, I just have gotten so, wrapped up in YouTube in the last few years. I just don't see myself giving it up. My favorite season is spring because the weather is breaking, and I'm so glad to get away from the cold weather. I have seen it says insert your favorite movie, insert number of times. Okay, I have seen let's see, which one have I watched the most? Probably the Titanic. I've watched that movie, I know, at least a dozen times, maybe more than that. I support the Tennessee Vols and have done since I was a teenager. And I'm not really a sports fan, but just because I'm from Tennessee and my dad liked college football and my husband does too, so of course I'm gonna be an ally with them. My favorite ice cream flavor is Rocky Road. I love chocolate ice cream, and I love nuts, and I love marshmallows. So when they came out with Rocky Road, I mean, it was just amazing. My favorite brand is the Edie's, EDY''S. My favorite non-alcoholic drink of choice is, first of all, water, and then coffee. I love coffee. My alcoholic drink of choice is, I don't drink alcohol, so I'm gonna put that out there. I don't have a favorite. The thing that I find most attractive in a person is, let's see, integrity. I think that, when a person is honest and true and pure, and, they show integrity with the way that they do business and the way that they treat their relationships, I value that very much. Let's see. I mostly listen to Christian music. I like Christian music radio stations, and when we listen to music on YouTube, we usually turn it over to worship. I'm allergic to, I don't think I have any allergies at all. I may have seen like a reaction to certain types of things. Like that one time I used a foot mask on my face by accident. My skin had a reaction, but that wasn't an allergic reaction. It was just because it was too strong. But I'm not allergic to like penicillin or anything, any kind of, you know, histamines or anything like that. My pet peeve is, what really annoys me, when people tell me lies. That when they look at me straight in the eye and they tell me lies. I cannot stand that. And they think that you can't see through them, you know? I mean, they're just, ugh. Narcissistic lies. I do not like that. I hate the smell of the paper mill. I do not like that. It smells like, it's worse than sulfur. It's horrible. And anyway, there was a paper mill about, I don't know, 15 minutes down the road from us. I can't really smell it here in town, but when we go that way, you know, we have to drive by it. I can't stand the sound of like a fingernail going across a chalkboard. Oh, I hate that. That just really bugs me. Let me skip over a couple of these. The most boring sport to watch is golf. Oh my gosh, y'all, could that game get any slower? It is so slow. I mean, I would go to sleep. If I'm tired trying to watch, you know, any kind of a boring sport like that, I'm going to go to sleep. The most stressful thing for me is when I'm being pushed. When someone's trying to push me and I'm not, like when I'm not ready to do something and they're trying to push me into it, you know, and pressure me, I don't like that at all, and that's stressful. I like to take my time with things. Okay, now here's some facts about talent. I can play the piano. I played the clarinet in high school. I can speak 2 languages, and the second one, Spanish, was the hardest to learn. Of course, English is my first. But anyway, I took Spanish in high school, and I can read it. I don't necessarily understand it because I haven't retained it and I don't use it. But anyway, I can read it. I can cook the most amazing chicken and rice. It's a favorite recipe here at our house. We use Campbell's golden mushroom soup and chicken and rice and, you know, a couple of cans of water to add into the soup, and, you know, season it with salt and pepper and cover it and bake it in the oven. It's amazing, amazing dish. Let's see. I once caught a 38-inch king mackerel. That was quite a feat for me. We were out deep sea fishing and we were trolling, and that fish caught my line, and oh my gosh, there's a whole story behind it. I'll have to tell it to y'all sometime. But anyway, let's just put it this way. The fish was going one way and the boat was going the other way, and I lost a lot of line, and it took me a long time to pull it in. It was quite a physical task for me. Let's see. Let me skip that one. Some of these things I'm just like, I'm not that good at, so I'm going to skip over them. I once played the part of Ebenezer Scrooge in a school production, and I tried out for the part and I got it. It was so much fun. Here's one that says I blank better than most people. I honestly can't think of anything that I do better than most everybody else. So I'm going to skip that one. I have visited, let's see, four countries in my life. I've been to Canada, I've been to Mexico, and I've been to Guatemala, and then of course the United States. I think that's it. My favorite country so far is the United States. I love being here at home. I first traveled solo when I was probably about 17. I went to my grandmother's house from Tennessee. So the scariest moment of my travels was my first airplane ride. I didn't know what to expect, and I was, you know, it felt like my stomach was in my throat, and I don't know. Anyway, it wasn't really as, you build things up in your mind, you know, it's not near as fearful once you've gone through it. The most amazing place I've ever been is Guatemala, because it's close to the equator, and then at night the sky is so clear, it just feels like the stars are just right above your head, like you could almost reach out and touch them. It was just so breathtakingly beautiful, and I really liked it. My next trip is to Conway, Arkansas. We're going next weekend. Yay! So we're going to go with our travel team. We're going there to minister, and so we're getting ready for that. I love to travel so much because it helps break away from the routine, and it makes me feel good to know that I've got purpose in my life, because our travels revolve around the ministry, and I really enjoy that. One thing I always take on my travels is my pillow. There's a lot of things I take, but the pillow, I always grab my pillow. Let's see. When I go on an adventure, I like to plan the whole thing or make it up as I go and delete as necessary. We plan. We put the big rocks in the jar, and then all the other little things, you know, we'll just go, you know, we'll make that up as we go. But we plan on where we're going and what time we're leaving, and, you know, we get our Airbnb or our hotel room booked and all that kind of thing. And we have the times for the services, you know, set in place and things like that. But where we're going to eat and what we're going to do in our spare time, we kind of make that up as we go. The most remote place I've ever been to is Guatemala. Yeah, it's pretty out there, you know. It's there's no running water, there's no electricity, you know, so that's really remote. Okay, now here's some family facts. I have 2 siblings. I have 2 sisters. One of them is passed on, the middle one. I'm the oldest in the family, and my youngest one is she lives in Florida. So I am the oldest in my family. I was the firstborn. My parents got married in 1958, and I was born in 1959, and then Jenny was born in 60, and then Janet was born in 61. So it's just like boom, 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 boom. My parents were really quite busy there for a few years. I don't see how my mom did it. Let's see. What are some things that my sisters taught me? My mom depended on me as the oldest one to kind of influence my sisters and lead them and kind of, you know, help keep them out of trouble and stuff. And so I learned from them, since they don't like to be bossed around, I learned how to lead by example, and I learned how to kind of like drive from the back seat, so to speak. So that's what my sisters taught me. I have one dog. Her name is Sweet Pea. She is a Chihuahua. She's an applehead, and she's a fawn. And so some of you have seen her. Anyway, there's pictures of her on Instagram with me. My fondest childhood family memory is Christmas. My mom loved Christmas, and it was always a big deal at Christmas. Baking cookies, decorating the tree, shopping and wrapping for presents, you know, the get-togethers, all of that. Just Christmas. I have been with my spouse for 35 years. We were married in 1987 on May 29th. So this next May it'll be 36 years. Awesome. My parents and grandparents immigrated here in the United States from, now it wasn't my parents or my grandparents, but it's generations farther back, came from Europe. And my husband's side of the family too. Let's see, when I was probably about 15 or 16, the funny story about me is my dad took us fishing one day, my sisters and I. And when we first got there, we went to, like, there's a lake in our hometown. And when we got to the lake and everything, I accidentally slipped and fell in a pile of cow manure on the way down to the lake edge. And it was a mess. Oh my gosh, it was a mess. And so anyway, I had on jeans, and Daddy wasn't turning around and going back home because I fell down in a pile of cow manure. So anyway, it was all down like the side of my leg, and I just kind of like had to rub it off with grass and leaves and stuff, and just put up with the stench the whole time that we were there. It was horrible. Horrible, horrible, horrible. Anyway, I don't have very good memories as a child of fishing memories. I really didn't have that many good fishing experiences until I was an adult. Let's see. Let's skip this one because I don't know the answer to that. Alright, friend facts. My childhood nickname was, and is, Lori. My birth name is Laurel, but it's so formal, and my family always called me Lori or Lorianne, so that's what I've always gone by. Let's see. My friends would describe me as, I don't know. It's hard to say. Probably talented. A lot of people say I'm talented. I have been a bridesmaid at 0 of my friends' weddings. I have never been a bridesmaid or a maid of honor. My friends and I used to spend our long summers. We would play outside. We would play, there was the woods right behind our house. We'd play in the woods. There was a creek down there, and we'd play down there. We would just run around and hang out together. We would sit on our front porch, we'd listen to music together. I don't know, we just, found stuff to do. Anyway, we just spent a lot of summers together in between school. My friends once played a prank on me. For my 16th birthday party, I fell asleep. It was a slumber party. I had a few friends over, and I was the first one to fall asleep. And I think the way that I get keyed up about things sometimes is I don't sleep well the night before I know a big day's coming. And so I was probably, really tired from that. Anyway, I fell asleep. I was the first one to fall asleep. And anyhow, I fell asleep like this with my hand up, on my forehead. And they took mayonnaise out of the refrigerator, and they put like mayonnaise in my hand right here, and then they would like tickle my face, and it caused me to, kind of touch my face with the mayonnaise, and that woke me up. So anyway, that was a prank. Let me skip that. Education and work facts. My favorite subject at school was English. I had the most awesome English teacher in high school, and I had her for like 3 years. I had her for creative writing, and I had her for junior and senior English as well. And I loved her, and she influenced my life in a great way. And I enjoyed it because I loved her. It was the relationship. And she was a good singer too. She sang in the choir at our church. It was awesome. So anyway, she had a powerful impact on my life. Says my dream job is, well, I'll just tell you what my favorite job was, because I really don't want to go back to work. But my favorite job was working at an advertising agency. And I really liked the deadlines, the hubbub, the routine of typing up orders, and I don't know, just I liked my boss. I just really enjoyed that job. When I was a child, I wanted to be a teacher when I grew up. I always wanted to be a teacher. I had a big chalkboard, and I would gather my friends and my dolls, and I would teach. My first job ever was at Shoney's. I was a waitress at Shoney's from the age of 16, waiting tables. My first proper job after graduating high school, I still worked for Shoney's when I graduated high school, and I worked on up, and I was promoted to dining room supervisor, and I opened up a brand new store after I did that for a while, and got to help with all the hiring of the servers, and I enjoyed that job. And then later on, I got an office job, and I started doing office work. Let's see. Then I did office work for about 25 years, and then after that, my husband and I, we moved, and I couldn't find a job. It's like I got to a certain age, and it's like nobody wanted to hire somebody for office work unless they were young and they didn't have to pay them very much. And so anyway, I went back to serving tables, and I started working for Cracker Barrel. Let's see. If I had my time at school again, I would not take Algebra 2. That was the most horrible subject, and I struggled. I struggled at that hard math, and I know to some people that's not hard math, but to me it was. And I didn't make very good grades in it, and it pulled down my average GPA from, in high school. So I would have skipped that and probably done something like take another subject, instead of trying to major in math. I majored in math and English, and I shouldn't have majored in math. Let's see here. Random but interesting facts. Let's see. I'm practically addicted to coffee. And I love, here lately I've been drinking coffee with the flavored creamers that are out for the holidays. I've got the pumpkin pie spice, the pumpkin spice, the peppermint mocha. I like the pumpkin pie spice best. I collect teacups and saucers, antique teacups and saucers, and I have 2 boxes full that I inherited from my grandmother, and I have always kept them and collected them. Let's see here. My idea of heaven on earth is going on vacation and just hanging out at the beach and the pool, and just enjoying the sun and the water and just all of that. I just love that kind of vacation. That's, to me, that's here in the the Gulf of Mexico, down in Destin, Florida. The waves come in and crashing in, and I just sitting out on the porch of your condo or, you know, wherever you're staying, and just being able to see and hear all of that even first thing in the morning before you go out to the beach, you know, and just sitting there relaxing with a cup of coffee. I mean, it's just, that's awesome. So relaxing. The best advice I ever received was, it may not be the best advice, but it's the one I can think of right now. My dad always taught me, he said, Lori, he said, a liar is a thief and a thief is a liar. So if somebody will, you know, lie to you, then they will steal from you. My first car was a 75 Dodge Dart Swinger. It was candy apple red with a white vinyl top, a two-door. And it was kind of sporty, but it wasn't sporty because the engine was small. It had a slant 6 engine. And so, you know, it was really, really good on gas. It didn't have a lot of power though. And I probably needed a car with more power. Okay, let's see. I have never tried blank food. I have never tried... I don't think I've ever really tried much Indian cuisine. You know, curries and things like that too much. If I had 1 hour to live, I'd spend it in prayer. I sure would. My favorite color is blue. I like denim blue. I like that shade of blue. The most romantic thing anyone has ever done for me. My husband, he sometimes, one time in particular, he bought me some flowers, some roses, and he had them sitting on the table when I came in from work, and he wasn't, I didn't think he was there, but he was there. He was hiding behind a chair, but he wanted to hear and see my reaction. And anyway, I thought that was really romantic. I do or don't believe in love at first sight. I do believe in love at first sight. And the reason why I think so is because when I met my husband, we went to Hardee's and we sat down to talk. We weren't even eating. We just got a drink and we sat down to talk. And for about 3 hours, we just visited with one another and shared our hopes and dreams and just really where we've been in life, and just poured our hearts out to one another. And I just knew, right then that he was the one I wanted to marry. I have broken, how many bones in my body? I broke my ankle, one bone in my body. Well, it was actually like 2 fractures on either side of my ankle. And I broke them playing as a child. We were playing outside and I fell off of a gate from a fence. My first thought when I wake up in the morning is normally, I have to pee. I gotta get up and use the bathroom. My earliest memory is, let's see, when I was really little, probably about 3. And I remember we got a TV. We got a black and white TV. And I remember watching things on that TV. We watched the Mickey Mouse show and Romper Room. I remember the day that JFK got shot. I remember that TV. Let's see. If I could live any other era of history, it would be probably the Victorian era, right around the turn of the century. I just really liked the way that the women dressed back then, and I liked the whole upper class, you know, way that they did about going to dinner, and, you know, like Downton Abbey, you know, back in the early shows of Downton Abbey. I really, really like that era. Let's see. I would most like to learn how to, I think I would like to learn more about doing ads and thumbnails and things like that for my videos and for my collabs, because I'm not very good at any of that. I really would like to learn that. So I've got an app called Canva, but it's not very user friendly, and I spend way too much time just trying to do something simple on it. It's just ridiculous. I need something that's going to be fast and easy and quick. Anyway, if you know of anything like that, you know, be sure to hit me up on Instagram and send me a link. Let's see. My favorite artist or form of art is, I like prophetic art. I like to see people inspired by worship music, just to get in, you know, in front of a canvas and just, you know, whatever's inside of them just comes out, you know, on the canvas. It's amazing. If my life were made into a movie, I think Kathy Bates. I think I'd like to see Kathy Bates play me. I think that would be interesting. If I could live anywhere on the planet, it would be, oh my, Laguna Beach, or someplace where the water is, you know, clear and still, and you can, you know, enjoy, you know, the beach. I just really like the beach. I am superstitious about nothing. I don't, you know how we used to do as kids when you play hopscotch or whatever. You know, you step on a crack, you break your mother's back, or if you walk under a ladder or break a mirror, you're going to have 13 years bad luck. I don't believe in any of that stuff. Okay, let's see here. One more. I once met Vince Gill. We were at a Mexican restaurant in Nashville, and he sat in the booth, like on the other side of the aisle, like behind us, a booth or two. And so anyway, that was kind of cool. So, but you know, you see a lot of people when you live in Nashville. Okay, I don't know how many that was, but I'm sure that was probably at least 51. I just want to thank Alice Lynn, I Love Being a Grammy, for tagging me on this. And I'm going to take these off. And this was kind of a long video, but I appreciate you guys taking the time out to listen. Hopefully something that I said caused you to connect with me a little bit more. Anyway, just feel free to leave me comments down below, and I'll chat back with you in the comments. All right, everybody have a great Mask Monday. Thank you for watching. God bless you today is my prayer. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.